Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. My name is Kevin. I am your friend, and this is your Divine Daily Blast. Here we go. We're in a brand new month, and we've got a brand new angel activator as well as a brand new divine master with us this week. And we're talking about March 1st, 2026. Let's start off with number 5. It is the angel numerology of adventure. Number 5 is talking about changes are coming. Well, we all know that. They keep coming, they come and they come and they keep and they come. And basically, I think the changes that are going on right now in the world have us lifting our eyebrow and in surprise. I would say the changes and the adventures that are coming will be surprising. Now, we are kind of on the eve of the full moon energy, and it's a full moon eclipse coming up on Tuesday, but we're still a little bit more of that new moon energy going on. So what was the number 5 talking about? It's got the energy of the awakening card, the energy of the tower card, and you can pull upon Archangel Michael, Archangel Uriel, and Archangel Gabriel for help and assistance navigating these changes. It's all adventurous, it's dynamic, spiritual, sensual, time to invoke curiosity, time to be a visionary, a time to see the light through the cracks of any of the darkness that you're seeing. Shed new light, put a spotlight on brand new situations, people changing, all of the stuff, particularly if you felt stuck, mundane, in this whole melancholy kind of like, well, what's going to happen next? Why is it not happening now? We are releasing ourselves of this instant gratification mode. We are being grateful, period. We don't have to get instant gratification. We just have to stay in the mode of gratification, if that makes sense. My isms. This comes from Joanna Pantases, from the friend of the channel. I am nurtured, supported, and loved by the universe. The universe being the great creator, God, source energy, everything. We're nurtured, supported, and loved by it. Thank you, great creator, source energy, for nurturing my mind, body, and spirit, for loving me, for supporting me in each and everything I do. Done. I'm a story in motion. What story am I telling? What story are you telling? We have to watch our words. Our words create worlds. Here's a message from Archangel Metatron. I can help raise your energetic vibration, allowing for inner change and the awakening of your true spiritual calling. Metatron was with us last week. He's making another appearance today. Here's your affirmation. I am on a path of spiritual awakening. My soul's purpose is clear to me. Your soul's purpose is something that could be ever changing, but the root of your soul's purpose is in your integrity. It is in who you are. It is in what you're about. When all the doors are closed, when everybody's gone home, when you sit quietly in solitude, your soul's purpose gets revealed to you. While you may be asking others, what do you believe my soul purpose is? You need to ask yourself. They're already working on what their soul purpose is. And your soul purpose may be, right now, I'm getting through the day. My sole purpose is to bring about the changes that need to happen. That could be simple, easy. Right, moving on. Before I get to these two lovely things, I'm going to talk about where the moon is and what's up with that. The moon today is in that flashy, fiery sign of Leo. And the astrology or astrologers or the planets are asking us to bring about a balance under this moon and make sure you're not acting with way too much pride, but also being proud of yourself. There's a big difference between boasting and walking around like you own the block and being proud of your accomplishments. I think it's striking a balance is how are you presenting that out to the world. Now, I want to talk a little bit about March because Louise Hay has quite a lovely, in her calendar every month, she brings in like affirmations to pull you through the month. So this month, she's talking about feeling ready to stretch beyond past limitations and opening up to something new, choosing something new, making a list of the things you may have always wanted to do, and then pick the top one or two. That's about it. One or two. That's it. No more. And perhaps a long, perhaps you want to learn a new language, try a creative endeavor, take a trip, start painting, start singing, whatever that is, whatever it is. Now is the perfect time to go for it. Do whatever you need to do to research what you've got to accomplish the goal. Because accomplishment, growth, expansion is what we're all about. And March brings our spring or autumnal equinox. It's the sort of halfway between, I think the equinox is about equal amount of daylight to nighttime, if that makes sense. That's what the equinox, I believe, stands for. Let's see what else. You may want to start saving some money. You might want to start another savings account. You might want to do something else you haven't done. You may want to refrain from certain things if you feel like you've overindulged, underindulged. These are all changes that are positive to make in the month of March. Now, her affirmation for today specifically is, I listen to the messages of my body and support it in creating perfect health. Perfect health is that balance. What am I putting into my body? And being grateful that the body digests the food many times when we're not even thinking about it. It's this automated biological system that keeps us going, keeps us moving forward. And being grateful that we're able to do it is the way to move forward. Okay, so moving on, we have a new angel activator that I have not pulled since I got this deck a couple of years ago, right here. And this one is the Dominions. Face your own shadows is what they're talking about. Now, what's rather lovely about this particular card is the activation message is, I am willing to lighten up all parts of myself. And it really is talking to the heaviness, the darkness, the feeling of oppression, if you will. The dominions, which in other languages means like lordships, they're powerful beings. And they have a real sense of presence and authority about them. Now, they're known to regulate the roles and the trajectories or the activities of other angels, other than the ones from the higher realms and the higher spheres. In this image over here, this particular representation of the dominions is holding this orb to represent their authority. So the angels look after nations and international situations. They are the angels we call upon when the world is experiencing challenges. So initially I was thinking this is a new angel or a new group of angels, and now you probably know exactly why they're showing up. They are over the disasters and the conflicts to bring us a sense of watch how the shadows are being pulled out into the light. I'll say that again. Take a look and witness how this shadow work, the dark work, the underwork, the underbelly is being pulled up into the light. So our guidance for this week is basically suggesting that by avoiding our emotions and hiding how we really truly feel, we're missing essential information and guidance that is streaming constantly from God himself, God the divine, God source energy. And the angels are here to hold us all in sacred, non-judgmental space, fully loving, where we can own all aspects of ourselves, all aspects of our stories, all aspects of our sort of shadow sides. And when we're willing to see the parts of ourselves that we've been avoiding looking at, that truth, that integrity, we won't look at it, we open up to channels of abundance and support. If you have been feeling oppressed, put upon, why not me? Why is this happening? On and on and on and on. You got to shine the light on it and bring it up so it can be basically healed. We demonstrate to everyone around us when we do it that healing and wholeness is possible. So the affirmation for this whole week is I am willing to lighten up all parts of my life. We've had that Chinese New Year, the fire for horse energy, and a lot of exercises, writing a death list, writing a birth list, folding it up, putting it under the pillow, releasing what you need to release. This is talking about that. Now, no one says you have to air your dirty laundry to the world. I say dirty laundry, I'm using that as a euphemism for your secrets, your darkness, the things that you perhaps are not quite so proud of. But you can at least go to the point of saying, I would like this issue to be healed so it is no longer a burden. Or even say something to the effect of, angels, guardians of the four corners, great mother of the earth, father of the sky, God the creator, source energy, I give these burdens to you. May they be healed. You know, in a lot of religions, the Lord's Prayer, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. On and on you can go, saying it. But listening to what you're saying, listening to the words of it, can release your soul of the heaviness, which is what we have to do. I learned when I was teaching yoga, the first part of it is dealing with your demons. We can't expect people to transform their own lives if we're not willing to look at our own shadows. It was the most revealing, transformative part of my life that I learned to do. And yeah, we all slip back into old habits. However, the awareness of the old habits releases us from their grip. Old habits will grip hold of you. The ego, basically the devil, wants to play in that sandbox and keep us stuck. When we reveal the fact that, oh no, this is old ways of being, I'm moving on, and find an affirmation that counterbalances it, it's like, poof, it's gone. Moving on. This wonderful Hindu deity known as Hanuman has come with us this week, asking us to become the devoted warrior of the divine. Let God's love hold you in his strength. Now, if you're not really sure anything about Hanuman, who is Hanuman, what does he do? Is a Hindu warrior god and a divine companion and protector of the god Rama. Rama, or the son of the winged god Vayu, is loved by many, not only because of his monkey form, but also because of his sheer dedication to Rama, the inspiration to all spiritual warriors. Now, the story goes that Hanuman is one of the main characters in the Hindu epic Ramayana. And the story is that after a great war, there was a procession, and Rama and his wife Sita honored everyone who had fought on their behalf. And when it came to Hanuman, Sita took off a string of beads and placed them around Hanuman's neck. And just as the cheeky monkey, Hanuman began to bite them open as if they were nuts to look inside, which alarmed Rama. And he wondered, why in the world would you do something like that? And Hanuman said, well, I'm looking for you, my lord. I love you and Sita so much. You are all I could ever want. And if I were to rip open my heart and show it to you, there you would be. And look, we see in this image, Hanuman sitting in prayer opens his heart and reveals the devotion to God in his heart. So your message is, when you devote yourself to a vision with unwavering faith, you welcome in the support of the universe. And today, this devoted heart of Hanuman is guiding you to reflect upon the strengths and the talents. You know, you're someone who gives with all of your heart, but you might find it really challenging to receive it in return. When you give without looking for anything in return, but the universe wants you to make sure you make more time and energy and space for you to be supported as well. When you open up to the possibility of being supported and nourished, you're allowing yourself to be replenished. And then you have more to give. When you're giving from a full cup, there's more coming. You can't really give from an empty cup. So you're being honored all this week for our commitment to what's important. And the universe, God, the creator, the source energy, sees each and every one of us as vital to healing and expansion, not just ourselves, but the entire world. So, this week, today, from this moment on, let your heart be served by God in return as a true warrior shield of that love, the energy of love. Now, Louise Hay says, I listen to the message of my body, and I support it in creating perfect health. That could be honoring all of this. I'm listening to the message of my mind, and I am supporting perfect clarity. All of this, making a devotion to yourself first, gives you permission to then share it with others. Now, as I always say, I pull 7 tarot cards for the whole week, and I do it navigating the week ahead. Today's card is the Two of Swords. Now, the Two of Swords sometimes can see that is negative. I would say the Two of Swords is basically all about making choices. Now, why does this person have a blindfold on? Well, they want to make sure they're making the right choice. And the challenge with the Two of Swords is basically left or right, right or left, up or down, back or forth. There are many times in our lives, and today might be one of them, where we really don't know what is the best choice to make. Now, swords represent the air element, and that's like birds, wings, clouds, anything that flies up through the air. And the sword itself is kind of like a good analogy of the swift, efficient, effective way of wounding and double-edged nature of thoughts and words. This is all about the mental, the thinking, and how you got this double-edged sword, right or wrong, do I, don't I, should I, shouldn't I, all of that back and forth. In traditional playing cards, spades are the suit that corresponds with swords. So traditionally, the suit in playing card divination, the suit of the spades is really talking about bad news. And we can see echoes of this tradition in the sword suit of most tarot decks. In this particular deck, several of the swords cards are kind of alarming, disturbing, sometimes sad and melancholy, all of those things. In the playing card the tradition, depending on the suit, being happy, which is hearts and diamonds, or sad, spades and clubs, tend to see each card in each suit as having a potential for positive or negative interpretations. That's what happens in tarot. So the sharp edges of the swords can be ameliorated by the energies of the other suits, primarily cups, which provide compassion and awareness of other people's feelings, and also the wands, the energy which gets you out of the planning phase and into the doing phase, if that makes sense. It's all like a lift beyond playing cards, because initially divination was all about using a deck of playing cards to kind of do fortune telling, until way back, I think 14th, 16th century, somebody came up with a game called Tocci. I think it was the Italians, and they started painting these elaborate cards and making the first major arcana, and then the four suits came along afterwards. Now, this particular card, the Two of Swords, is a dancer guarding the inner sanctum. You see, it's dancing on top. This is the inner sanctum on the bottom. So she might be weighing up or judging between two possibilities, symbolizing by these swords pointing upwards in her blindfold. And she might be weighing up two things of equal value, like the figure of justice. This dancer blindfolds herself to make sure she makes the right choice. So this is like the moon in Libra, casting brightness into the shadows, if that makes sense. So whatever you're doing today, try not to make any rash decisions. Just go with what the God, the divine, and source energy is mulling up for you. Mull things over, in other words. Let's hear from the fairies. Fairies, fairies everywhere. Come forward on this 1st of March 2026. Give us a blessing that can pull all of this together. 1, 2, and 3. And we'll take the top card. There we go. There we are. And we've got energy. Oh, I like this. So, this is the angel prince of energy. Ooh, you see his hands. It's around kind of an invisible globe. There is no globe there. However, in his heart and in his mind, the mind being activated by these electricity on his head, and the wings outsplayed, is talking about creating the right kind of energy. Ooh, I like this. So now we have the Two of Swords pondering two different things. We've got seeking out the soul's purpose, facing your shadows, going with what you're devoted to, telling a different story, using the 5 of adventure, and knowing that you're nurtured and supported by the universe. So this could be pick up your energy, generate new energy, generate fresh energy, put some life back into your days. I'm also getting a message that the majority are seeing things as being half empty and things running out, lack, not being prosperous. I have been in that camp. I've sat on that seat. I don't know where this is coming from, but it always flows. There is no doubt in my mind things flow. And these moments of somewhat mental desperation are fleeting. But I should say, and the thoughts of mental desperation that pop up are gone. 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 They come up to show us how far we've come. They've not come up to pull us back in. Makes sense? All right, friends, if you got this far in this message, thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing, and sending this out. And I'll be back with navigation for the week ahead in a little bit. Thanks so much for liking, subscribing, and doing all you do. Much love to you. Bye for now.